Monday, September 4th, Labor Day. The Dome Foamers podcast is back. I'm your host, Christian Kruger, as always, with Neil Mieski and Brian Dorton. And we're just lifelong Astros fans who love to talk about the Astros. So, boys, let's go. Episode 19. Here we are. What a world, what a life to be in. So, boys, before we'll get into that. Let's thank our title sponsor, Two Gringos Chupacabra Rub and Season All. Two Gringos makes the finest rub, salsa, chips, jerky, and marinade you've ever tasted. If you haven't tried their products, please do it today because you don't know what you're missing. The main thing that you need to know about Two Gringos Chupacabra products is they are so good because they only use the finest ingredients and never, ever take shortcuts when it comes to quality. This is why we are proud to have Two Gringos Chupacabra as our title sponsor. You can find them in your local grocery store or on their website at twogringoschupacabra.com. That's the number 2, gringoschupacabra.com. It's Labor Day. Dorton, I hope you're grilling. I'm going to try to, but between 7th grade football practice and fall ball baseball practice, not sure it's going to happen. But thank you to Two Gringos Chupacabra for being our title sponsor. All right, episode 19. Also, I mentioned on the podcast last week in our college preview that we were nominated on the Internet Baseball Writers Association of America as best brand new podcast of 2013. The voting is till September 8th. We have it on all of our social medias. We will repost some of that stuff tonight and tomorrow. If you're so inclined, please go vote for us. Cool honor, cool thing doing that we just were
Very
happy
cool
to be nominated for.
Yeah, honored.
All right, so let's move on to this podcast that I'm sure is going to have a dark, dark cloud on it.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of positivity going forward.
3-3 for the week, 77-61 for the season. 1 game back of the Seattle Mariners. We are currently started recording this about 2:30 on Monday, Labor Day. So the Astros and Rangers are kicking off here in about 45 minutes. So we wanted to kind of get this going so we could watch that and Clemson Duke tonight in football. So before I give my thought, Neil, you get to kick us off with your temperature check.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's
oh boy.
This week is a microcosm kind of what the season has been. Really, you've got moments of amazing baseball, and then you've got moments of just bottom of the barrel, just rotten, bad baseball. So there's the feeling after the Boston series that you go, this is the team.
This is it.
This is what we're back. You got what happened in Houston, which makes it just doesn't add up, right? I mean, it just doesn't make sense to us who've been watching these guys for the last how many ever seasons. But it's frustrating, it really is. And we've got just 3 to 4 weeks left to figure it out, and we're borderline at anything from winning the division to being on the outside looking in. And there's zero way to predict what this team is going to do. We spent some time last week going through and trying to pencil in what we thought. There's absolutely nothing who the hell knows? Who the hell knows what team is going to show up? Are we going to score, 11 runs? Or are we going to score 1 run? Is our pitching going to get through the 6th inning, or are they going to get through 6 batters? I mean, it's
Are we going to play? Are we going to play our best players or not?
Is Dusty holding a new grudge against someone that we haven't? We don't know about yet.
That's probably just the most consistent thing that we can say about them is is our manager is going to consistently squeeze us in certain areas. But I mean, it's frustrating. I have no idea. I mean, I have no idea what team's going to show up, and so that's my temperature is who the hell are we? Who in the hell are we? And that has nothing to do with Dusty. I mean, that's we still have to play. I don't agree with Dusty one bit, but our starting pitching, our batting, I mean, the consistency, that's not necessarily just Dusty. So that's where I'm sitting right now.
All right, Jordan, bring it on.
Yeah, my God. Getting swept by the Yankees is one thing. Getting swept by the Yankees with your optimal lineup, with the best team that you have not on the field in September, I'm sorry. Like I agree with you, Neil. I think that, yeah, these guys need to step up and hit the ball. These guys need we need to score runs. I get it. But it's so frustrating because the things that we can change and the things that we can actually have a hand in optimizing, for some reason, the powers that be are just refusing to do so. And to me, it's hard to not go to, I feel like this is sabotage from within, where someone is actively hindering a optimal lineup for whatever reason that no one else can see. And I would love, and I will be the first person to come up and say, Dusty, you know what? You're a genius. I didn't even know that these numbers existed. If you can show me exactly why you're sitting a kid that's an incredible fielder, an incredible and more so an incredible hitter, I would love to see it. If you can come up and show me how this guy right here, Diaz, is better for this team on the bench than Maldonado is every day, I'd love to see it, because I haven't seen it. I'm and all of the numbers that I've looked at, they're not there. And I just don't understand it. I don't get it. It is beyond me. It's either someone is woefully incompetent or you are sabotaging this team from within. Period. That's it.
Well, I would love to disagree with you, but there's no data anywhere on the face of this planet that gives me an idea or even a thought to disagree with you. So you're going there. Love it, because I agree with you. Neil's also right. Neil, especially the starting pitching. The starting pitching has been horrendous. So Neil's dead. I'm going to unpack both of y'all. So Neil's right on the starting pitching. I can't argue that the starting pitcher needs to be better. I don't know what's going on. I mean, I do.
Yesterday was such an anomaly. I mean, we had 7 hits to their 8. We left one fewer runner left on base. I think they had 5 left on. We had 6 left on. That stat right there is not a 6-1 game.
No, you're correct. And Javier pitched better, but he's been bad. He's been bad. And I do think with him, it's the World Series last year, all the extra innings, and then the WBC. I mean, he just looks tired. He's not throwing. I was specifically watching his fastball yesterday. He was 2 and 3 miles an hour down on his fastball.
Yeah,
that's a tired arm. So, we need him to step up. I don't know that he's going to, because I think he has a tired arm. But
Yep.
to your point, Dorton, we can pinch hit a guy in the ninth inning, but he's not good enough to start and get 3 more at bats.
Right.
But he pinch hits and gets a single.
And then let's bat him 8 today.
Yeah. And then we have, honestly, you're right. I'm just glad he's playing today. But
I am too.
We'll get into that.
I am too.
We'll get into that. We have, and then the other night, 2 nights ago, whatever, it's all running together now for us, right? With, by the way, shout out to the Giddings Buffaloes with a win. So go Buffs.
Big time.
In my book, they're my favorite Buffaloes, not Colorado. It's the Giddings Buff. But
Coach Prime.
The night before, we're pinch hitting John Singleton for one of our top 4 hitters in our lineup. Now, we can't predict the outcome. We can't predict. We can't predict Chaz would have got a hit. Okay.
Yep.
Here's what I do know about Chaz. He might have struck out, but it was going to be swinging, not lukewarm Peter High right down the middle of the plate. Oh, let me raise my arms, John Singleton. I'm glad I pinch hit. Called strike 3. This is a joke. It's an absolute sabotage joke. I know I half said it kidding 2 months ago. I am so far on that let. It is, I don't know what, he got his World Series, and now it's like, let me show you how smart I am. I'm going to go against everything that possible is out there. And look, we can turn this into a 6-hour podcast on this topic. We just don't have enough time with all the stuff we've got going on. But today's thing set me over the edge, okay? I sent it to y'all. Dorton sent out multiple tweets this week of the crap that comes out of his mouth that is so stupid. Like, that's the thing. It's not just one player. It's this player. It's this. The starting pitching has not been good. So then you know what you probably need? You probably need your best players hitting as many times as possible. This is the crap that he sends out 30 minutes ago before the Rangers game today. Dusty Baker on Jose Abreu. Quote, he's back in shape. We've got every Thursday off. We need him. We need him badly. Okay. Do we need him? Sure. We have other options there, though. We have other options.
You bet.
Okay. Baker on Chaz McCormick. Depends on what I need. I, meaning Dusty. Quote, what I need. I thought that was telling. It's about you, Dusty. We know. It's about you.
We know it's about him.
Depends on how a guy's doing. I mean, it's easy if you've got Julio Rodriguez. Yeah. Okay. Do I think Chaz McCormick is as good and talented as Julio Rodriguez? No, I don't. I haven't pulled up his numbers compared to Julio Rodriguez's, but I will tell you this. He's a top 5 center fielder at the plate this year. So if Jose Abreu is so important to this team and Chaz is such an afterthought, a 4th outfielder, a bench player, we're going to do a little Jose Abreu and Chaz McCormick. And listeners out there that listen to this podcast, you tell me who you would rather have in lineup. I understand they don't play the same position. But that is telling me right there with those direct quotes from this piece of crap manager that he wants. He's concerned about Abreu, and he's more important to this team. So, boys, let's start it at bats.
All right.
Jose Abreu, 453. Chaz, 327. So a difference of about 126 at bats that Abreu's had more. Okay.
And Abreu was hurt for a month.
Correct. Okay. Great point. Hits, Abreu 106. Chaz 92. Home runs, Abreu 12. Chaz 19. Batting average, 234 for Abreu, 281 for Chaz. RBIs.
Say that again.
6.
Go back. What did you say for that there?
Batting average? 234 for Abreu, 281 for Chaz.
Okay.
RBIs, 63 for Abreu, 60 for Chaz, and 127 less plate appearances. Ks, Abreu struck out 109. Chaz has struck out 98. On base percentage, which in my mind is one of the most important stats in today's game, is getting on base. 293 for Abreu, 363 for Chaz. Slugging, that means how well are you getting extra base hits in your power spot. Abreu, 351. Chaz, 511. OPS, which is on base percentage plus slug, 644 for Abreu. The average major league hitter is 700. Chaz, 874. OPS plus, Abreu, 76, 24% below the average major league hitter. Chaz, 137, 37% better than the average major league player. And if we're going to end this all and just break it down as simple as wins above replacement, which is WAR, Abreu, negative 0.8, Chaz, positive 3.2.
Yeah.
So that's a difference of what? My mathematician, Neil Mieski, negative 0.8 plus 3.2?
Yeah, that's 4.
Thank you. It's 4 games. If we just take all those stats and break it down to 4 games, we would be 4 games better if Chaz had more bats and more playing time. Really? You think we take 4 games right now?
Yeah.
Any questions on me breaking down those 11 categories for you? I decided not to go stolen bases because it wasn't fair for Abreu. Since Chaz has 14, I think he has 1, but I can keep going. And this is Dusty saying how important Abreu is, and Chaz just gets scarred off like, nah, if we need him, we need him. It depends on how he's doing. It depends on what I need.
Yeah.
What are we dealing with here?
So the thing that I take out of that comment that irritates me is I'm fine with what he says about Abreu. I really am. Like, pump him up. Yeah, man, we need him. And there's no doubt. Like, an Abreu who, when we signed him, if that guy would show up again, we'd all be excited. The slap across the face to McCormick, basically saying you're nowhere near as good as, the regular everyday center fielders. That's
Right.
the arrogance that pisses me off.
Well,
Like,
have you noticed the trend lately in the last week and 2? What's the trend?
Yeah, he's not an
Now
everyday guy.
Now Dubon's playing center, and y'all know, and I know Dubon is Dorton's boy, but Dubon
Dubon is my boy.
I
as
know.
a utility
I know.
player.
I know.
That's where he shines.
That is Dubon's third best position. So we're playing a guy, his third best position, over one of our best hitters.
Yeah.
I mean,
so I'm
don't
looking
know.
right. Yeah,
Go ahead, Neil.
it's idiotic. Yeah, I'm going to compare Julio Rodriguez with Chas McCormick. Okay, so 327 at bats for Chaz, which you said, and then 548 for Julio. Julio's average is 285. Chaz's is 281. So very comparable. Julio's got 24 home runs. Chaz has 19. Right, so 100, over 200 more at bats, and he's got 5 more home runs.
Yep.
88 RBIs for Julio, 60 for Chaz. Again, in a fraction of the opportunities. Julio has 36 stolen bases. Chaz only has 14. But here's the big one. On base OPS. Julio Rodriguez is 825 and Chaz is 874. So to basically tell Chaz,
hold on real quick. What's OPS plus?
Yeah. I don't have
Julio's
that
OPS
in
plus.
front of me.
I
don't have it here.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead, Neil. I'll look it up.
So, but to just basically say, like, man, Chaz, you're great for us, but really deep down, you're just still a platoon player. And even if you thought that, like, even if Dusty Baker in his heart thought that, why in the hell are you saying that publicly? Why would you be such a piss poor leader to come out and say that? Is it to get sort of revenge because Chaz's brother is out there on social media blasting you? Is that what it is? Are you that petty? Are you that childish? I mean, it makes no sense for a guy to go out there and blast his own player like that. And there's not a logical coach out there that would support doing that. I mean, you're
Back
not
up,
being a professional.
back up, Miesky. You nailed it. He's that petty. He
Yeah, I
is
think
that
that's the
petty.
key. He's that petty, and his ego is that big where
Ding ding.
it is not about it's not about putting the best team on the field. It's about me showing the measuring stick on this and proving to everybody who's in charge. And if I'm
100%.
right, it's going to be huge. If I'm wrong, who cares? I already have a ring, right?
So
Here, let me
hold on, Dorton. Hold on. Then I'm gonna let you hold on real quick because I just want to clarify on Neil because he brought Julio Rodriguez's OPS plus is 129, Chaz is 137. Now this isn't about Julio Rodriguez. Julio Rodriguez is a hell of a player.
Amazing.
And yes,
Amazing.
and the only reason why any of these numbers are where they are is because he had an unreal August. Okay, he was having a bad year until August, and he just went off. But it's just interesting that Chaz is 8% better offensive player so far this year than the Julio Rodriguez. Okay,
well, let's compare.
Dorton, go ahead.
Let's compare players. That's what our manager wants to do is compare players.
All right.
So this is as of August 27th. So this is about a week-ish old, right?
Can I ask who we're comparing?
Right. Okay. Well, let's look at the highest WARs. Right, wins above replacement. Right, the highest WARs with fewer than 100 games. Fewer than 100 games this season. Who's on this list? Corey Seager, Sean Murphy, Cody Bellinger, Chaz McCormick, Aaron Judge. Okay. Sounds like a pretty good list to be on. All right. Let's look at highest, let's see, WRC plus versus left-handed pitchers. Highest WRC plus versus left-handed pitchers with 100 plate appearances. Mookie Betts. Okay. Ryan Mountcastle, Chaz McCormick, Freddie Freeman, George Soler. Okay. Seems like a pretty good list to be on. All right. Last one. How about highest run value against any single pitch type? And we're looking at four-seamers here.
Oh, I've seen this stat.
Who's on this list? This one. Let me give you a hint. Freddie Freeman, Chaz, Shohei, Tucker, and then Candelario. Okay. Seems like a pretty good. So it seems like I can also put out comparisons with other players that tend to go the opposite direction of what Dusty's point is. So really, what's the real reason that you're not putting the out?
To continue with Dorton's, because those are some great. He's talking about some of the best hitters in the game.
Yes.
I just and I thought Dorton was going to do the Martin Maldonado Yonner Diaz comparison because that's just so lopsided. And I think if you're gonna play Maldonado, which is obvious that he's going to, then wouldn't you want to put your best hitters because you have a hole at 9 when you have Maldonado batting. So then when you want to optimize the other 8.
Yeah. So Julio batted .429 in the month of August.
Yeah, he was on fire. But that's the thing. Like it's not even about him. It's what Dusty brings up.
Yeah. Right.
We got D back. But what we're saying, Dorton, is it's all right. It's just it's Labor Day. It's how it works with the internet. That with all all your stats, those are some of the best hitters in the game.
Yes.
And what I was saying is, and obviously you can go back and edit some of this. What I was saying was, if you're going to play Martin Maldonado because he's going to, then you need to optimize your other 8 batters because you have a hole at 9, and we just don't do that. And look, let me back up. Also, I was not trying to throw Jose Abreu under the bus. That's because Dusty brought it up. We do need him, but there are other options there. I mean, I'm to the point now where I think Michael Brantley needs to be playing some first base.
Fine. Are we
Abreu,
already to a point where Brantley needs to rest?
Well,
Because he's not in the lineup today, is he?
No, they're facing a lefty, and I did kind of think that was going to happen. I know.
So is he going to sit for every left-handed pitcher that we face? I mean, our time for resting players,
100%.
That was
a
couple months ago.
And look, I'll fall on this one. I did not think Brantley was going to be as good as he was starting out.
Very fair.
I didn't. It's been 15 months seeing major league pitching, and I'm a huge Uncle Mike fan. We all three are. Absolutely. I didn't think he was going to be this good. Him driving the ball to me is a huge positive. So I'm with you. Play him. I mean, how long are we going to wait? How many opportunities are we going to mess up? The only reason, if you want to know why we're still having this conversation, it's because the Rangers have been so bad.
Yeah, we should be out of this.
We should be toast. At least fighting for the number 6 seed.
Even the Mariners, for that matter, they're doing us some favors too. I mean, losing a game against Oakland, losing 2 or 3 in New York. I mean, but this is the stretch to where if the Mariners can get through it, right? This is the 13 games in a row. 10 of them are on the road because they're at the Reds for 3, and then they go to the Rays for 4. This is the stretch. If they can survive this, then they're sitting in a situation where really they control their destiny. And I mean, with them being in first, technically, they're the ones that they're the only ones that can say that. I mean, the Rangers and the Mariners, it's not like they're peaking, right? And again, who the hell knows what we're doing?
Well, I mean, had we won 2 of these games, I mean, had we won 1 of these games,
one. Honestly, just one. I'm telling you, man. I know we said this, and you know what? Honestly, it's exhausting to keep having the same conversations because of this manager that we have. But it's going to come down to whoever wins the West is going to win the West by you know how many games?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 1, right?
1.
It's going to be 1
we
game.
talked about,
and whoever gets into that third, by the way, whoever gets in that third wild card spot is going to get in it by
probably.
Yep. Because Toronto is not going anywhere.
And by the way, we can't tie the Mariners. They have the tiebreaker.
Mm-hmm. We've got the tiebreaker on Texas.
For we got to play them. I think we have to play them 3 more times.
No, yeah.
No, I think we have.
No, we have to win a game. It's 6-4. Stros. So we have to win 1 game. If we get swept, which you wouldn't think we would, but we just got swept by the Yankees.
If we get swept, it's in the cards.
They have the tiebreaker plus that puts us way back of them anyway. So you can't get swept anyway.
Although our schedule, I'm glad we're playing in Arlington.
Yeah, me
too. I can't believe I'm saying that, but
yeah, really,
we're terrible at Minute Maid. And
what is that about?
I'll get to going to. I went to that game last night and took the girls, and the amount of Yankees fans that were there, and how loud they were, it was embarrassing. Frankly, it was embarrassing.
I've been multiple times to a game there. They buy the tickets, man. They're obnoxious. I hope they. Well,
Embarrassing.
I don't even want to talk about it.
Well,
I was so. Look, Neil, you said it earlier in your temp check. We can't predict. No, we have no idea. But let me tell you what, when we get done with the podcast last week and we go 3-0 against Fenway, I'm like 20-10, 20-10.
yeah,
Now,
yeah,
I mean, you went backwards.
correct.
Agreed.
And that's what I'm saying. Our number of 94 across the board, it's lowered for all of them. I mean, the
Yeah.
Rangers
How many
losing 2 of 3 to the Twins,
How many games are left?
and the
Neil?
Mariners.
We're at
Ooh,
77 and 61, so we're at 138.
24
So
games.
24,
left.
24 games.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 24.
So we would need to get to 94. We would need to go 17 and 7.
Yeah.
Who the hell
Hmm.
knows? I mean, here's what remember when we got swept at home by Seattle? Remember that series?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we lost we
and-
lost those 3, then
And
won 2
Maldonado
against
gave
Boston.
us the pep talk that caught us back out
Oh
of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. So then we won the next 2 at home against Boston, then lost 3 in a row, then won 5 in a row, and then lost 3 in a row. I mean, you see the Trent win, lose,
Mhm.
and it's just there's no consistency, and that's between pitching, hitting, and of course managing. So it's man, frustrating.
Neil, do you
About
have it
like
up?
seeing Pena batting second today.
Oh,
Which
dude.
part?
See,
Oh, yeah.
now you're gonna spin me out. I'll get in that in a minute. Do you have it up, Neil? I know that's what you're trying to do too, but would you have it up?
Yeah.
Like the last 10 games, how many
Yeah.
starts does Chaz have, and how many starts does Diaz have
Ooh,
in the
I'd have
last 10?
yeah, you'd have to give me a chance here.
Okay. Yeah.
Diaz.
You,
I'll come back to you on that.
yeah. You look at it for a second. Dorton. So can you? Okay. I will say this. I'm one of Jeremy Pena's biggest critics because of the way he's played.
Okay.
I will say this.
Agree.
However, the last 10 days,
He started
2
to hit.
weeks, he started to hit. Okay.
Yep. Agree.
Well, and what even better than getting hits, he's starting to drive the ball, which I like to see because he
Yep.
has the potential to do that.
Agree.
It's small. Would you agree that that's still a small sample size?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Very small.
Yeah. And now we're moving him up to 2, moving Bregman, who, by the way, has been
To
our
4?
hottest hitter.
Yeah. To 4. Yeah.
Why don't you just leave Pena down there and anything you get from him is bonus?
I don't know. And
Why are we trying this? Why are we trying this experiment again?
Is Diaz at 8?
Why? Yeah.
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 So Pena is going to hit more than everyone but Altuve. That drives me insane.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Neil, did you get to it?
So I've got Yanir. He has played, and so the last 10 games that puts us to the 24th. So he played against Boston. Then the 2-3
I'm not
games
talking about
against
play. I'm
Detroit.
not, like started.
No, yeah. So I'm going by at
Okay.
bats here. So he
Okay.
had yeah, he's good. So the only game, so 8 is the answer there. He has played
Okay.
in 8 games.
That's fair.
Not counting the pinch hit. And you wanted to know
Because
who was the other one?
because he's DH some, which is fine.
Right,
I want his bat in the lineup. Okay.
right. And you wanted to know who was the other one?
Chaz.
Oh dang, I had him up.
It's
Give me
not
a
going to
second.
be. I don't think it's going to be pretty.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's played in 10 games in the last 15 days.
Chaz
Chaz.
played.
Played.
Wow.
Not started. Played.
So. Oh, not started. So that means pinch hit or whatever.
Yep.
So the 24th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got them at 6.
6 of the last 10.
That's what I've got them at.
So that's
1,
that's
2,
basically
3, 4,
that is
5,
basically a platoon player. That's a platoon
7.
player.
I'll put it at 7. I think that's the 24th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep.
And we have 24 games left.
We have
Okay.
24 games left.
Anyone before we move on? Because I mean I could keep throwing stuff out. Dorton, started off bringing up Diaz. I don't even know where to go.
I almost came out of my seat last night when, well, I did come out of my seat, but I almost went over the rail when first I saw Dubon warming up and then go to the plate, and I just didn't understand it. And then when he's walking up to the plate and I saw Maldonado come out of that dugout, I said, why are we here? Like, no one cares. Like, obviously no one cares about winning this game. Nobody does. Obviously and I'm still convinced that had Maldonado gotten on, had Dubon gotten on last night and not popped out, I think he was going to bat Maldonado there with 2 runners on.
Yeah, because at the time it was a 2-run game. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't. I don't want to get in his head. There's no telling. I'm so ready for him to be gone.
Because they didn't.
And these
switch.
people on social media that defend him, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say to them anymore.
Give me a break. Give me a break. And don't tell me it's because he's won a World Series. That World Series was
okay.
That World Series was won.
Neil's youngest child. Exactly. Neil's youngest child is how old, Neil? How old? 10? No, he's older than that.
11.
Your youngest child, Dorton, is how old?
11. My young is 9.
Yeah, and I knew they were all close. And my youngest is 10. I just can't keep track of all these kids, right? If you take our 3 youngest children and you let them watch a week of Astros games. And I know Neil's youngest because he watched a ton of Astros just like mine does. And your youngest is slamming them drums, which is awesome. But if you gave her a week to watch, those 3 children could write in lineups better than this hack that we have managing this team.
Yes.
I'm dead serious. I don't want to hear this. He's got 2,000 games of winning, wins, and experience. No, it's about writing in a lineup on a lineup card.
And do not give me the World Series, because
dude, I know
that again, those kids could have managed that team to a World Series last year.
Dude,
Sorry.
Mike Shimmick would have had that team 140 and 22 last year.
Yeah. I just feel like,
just for reference to those that don't know, that was our high school baseball coach. Okay, so because we could go all day on Dusty, but the fact of the matter is it's 24 games left,
Yes.
and then in about 5 minutes the Rangers Astros are playing at 3:00 on Labor Day. So weird, so odd. I think it's interesting that we had the late game last night. Thank you, Major League Baseball. All right,
that's not a shocker. I mean, we've seen that before. I'm just surprised it wasn't in New York, and then we had the early game here.
Yeah,
because that happened last year. Remember?
Yeah, I do.
Before we move on, I want to just say one thing, and I'm going to say this, and we're going to be done with it. The fan interference call last night is what it is, right? Is what it is. The fact that, and I didn't find this out until obviously I got home, but the fact that number one, the fan got to go back to his seat, number one, and number two, the ESPN gave him airtime is I don't understand this, right? Like, there's a reason that we don't show fans running out onto the field, and there's a reason that we don't glorify fan interference. And that is because if we start seeing this more and more, this is on the shoulders of ESPN for glorifying that.
Oh, they don't care. Yeah, they don't care.
And now, don't get me wrong. I loved the interview. I thought he was awesome. I loved it. It was entertaining. It was awesome. And that guy was great. And him calling the Astros the asteroids was one of the best things I've ever heard. But
there's already shirts out on Breaking Tea called the Asteroids.
I've seen it.
You bet. Like, I love it. I think it's great. And like, the dad is right. He gave his son a experience he's going to remember forever. So I don't blame the dad. He really didn't know what was going on. I still think that you should be certified to sit in the first row of any seat in Major League Baseball. There should be a certification process, and you should be certified to be able to do that.
When my middle one went last week, 2 weeks ago now, on that first row, I was scared to death that he was going to get kicked out for fan interference. Because he wanted over that railing so bad.
Yeah. I don't blame it, and it is what it is. So good for him. I'm super happy for him. I'm happy for that kid. That kid had an experience of a lifetime. Shame on ESPN for rolling out the red carpet to glorify it. And I don't know, maybe the security team at Minute Maid maybe should get a little dressed down a little bit, because you're supposed to be exited from the premises in those cases. But
it was interesting. It just added to the weirdness of that whole deal. Okay, let's go real quick. Let's jump, because I want to move through this pretty quick because the game's about to start, and I know all three of us want to watch as much as we can. So, Dome Foamers Player of the Week. Can I just say this for everyone? And if you want someone else, it's Alex Bregman.
Bregman, yeah, 100% Bregman.
Neil, do you have someone else?
I mean, Jan, he's the other one.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
He's the other one. That's.
I don't think there's anyone else. I just really don't.
Right.
I mean, Breggy's on fire.
Yep.
Okay.
So let's change things up a little bit.
We'll buy him a beer. Yeah, exactly, Dorton. Yeah, exactly. Let's change it up. All right, I'm going to do prospect of the week. Neil did Billy Wagner last week, and I started doing a little digging, and then I saw it pop up on the Corpus Christi Hooks, and I want to say he was the Astros minor league player of the month in August, or hitter was Billy the Kid's son, Will Wagner. Now, I don't really know what I think of Will Wagner. He's had a ton of injuries. He's 25. He was drafted in the 18th round, plays third base, pretty good hitter. But I did want to reference him because we needed to do something else in the minors. And then I saw him pop up and get Astros minor league player of the month. So came in from Liberty. As we said, he was Billy the Kid's son, and he plays third base. And the reason why I brought that up is there's going to be a decision made after next year on our current third baseman. So I think he's probably a major league player. I don't know what his ceiling is because he is older and he's had injuries. But when he plays, he hits. So it'll be interesting to see. He's playing at Corpus Christi. I would fully expect him to be at Sugarland all of next year and be promoted. But his name's Will Wagner, and let's see here. Yeah, he bats left, throws right. They have him, and he will play some second base as well, 5'11", 210. So there it is. Will Wagner is drafted in the 18th round in 2021 out of Liberty, pick number 538. He's hitting 298 this season, and with an OPS of 875. So something to keep an eye on. Kind of cool. It's Billy Wagner's kid.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
And like I said, he did get player of the month. So be interesting to track. And with any questions there before we move on?
Good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. Well, next we got the throwback player. And the throwback player of the week is done by Neil and sponsored by our friends at Victoria Equipment Auction. And at Victoria Equipment Auction, their number one goal is to get you the best price for your equipment in a hassle-free and professional manner. Whether you are part of a large corporation looking to clear old equipment out of your inventory, or an individual interested in selling a single piece, Victoria Equipment Auction is ready to go to work for you. Just drop off your equipment and we'll take care of the rest. You can call Clay at 361-935-2444. That's 361-935-2444 and VictoriaEquipmentAuction.com. Shout out to Kenny and Kevin Griffin. Great people that do a great job. So, Neil, with that sponsorship taken care of, who is our throwback player of the week?
I'm gonna throw a list of guys at you. Tell me who these guys are.
All right.
Forrest Whitley, Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, George Springer, Delino DeShields Jr., Jason Castro, Chris Burke,
all first round picks.
All first round picks of the Houston Astros. So today's is a first round draft pick, which is the Chris Burke.
Oh,
Chris Burke.
Yeah. So Chris Allen Burke, born March 11th, 1980, from Louisville, Kentucky. He was a Tennessee Volunteer guy. We used to have a guy in the minors that played for us that went to Tennessee. What was that guy's name?
Drew Gilbert.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Oh, I
And
remember.
Yes,
I remember him.
And we have another one. Zach Daniels also played at Tennessee, who's still in the minors for us. He's going to on my list as a prospect. But I see what you're doing, so go ahead.
Okay. I was just double checking. It seems like we had some history. Anyways, Burke was a stud at Tennessee. College World Series his junior year, playing shortstop for those guys, hitting 435, 20 home runs, 49 stolen bases. And that was in 2001. So in 2000, after that College World Series appearance, Burke was a first round draft pick, being 10th overall by the Astros. Moves up fairly quickly, playing Round Rock, and at that time our Double A was over there, or Triple A at that time, I guess. Round Rock was Triple A, yeah, because Corpus is still
They've been both.
Been both. Okay, and so he plays for Baseball USA. Olympic team, all-star future. I mean, Chris Burke was basically the guy that was going to basically replace Craig Biggio. He was on that short list of guys that this could be the one. And so finally in 2004, he makes his appearance July 4th against, of course, the Rangers, and then bounces around back and forth a little bit for the rest of 04. 05, he's rated as the top prospect in our whole program, right? So 2005, he makes opening day roster, ended up getting put back down to Round Rock, finished the season batting .248, 5 home runs. So again, this is one of these guys that could be one of these 4A players at the time. 2005, obviously the biggest thing in his whole entire career was the walk-off home run in the 18th inning against the Braves that put us against the that was the NLDS, 18 innings, 5 hours, 50 minutes, all that kind of stuff. I think it's the second longest postseason game in history.
Jumped off the couch. I remember that. I remember exactly where it was.
So which got us to play the Cardinals and ended up beating the Cardinals and then playing the White Sox in the World Series for the first time. So that was at the end of 2005, 2016. Not so great. Didn't make the playoffs. And so at that point in time, things are starting to change. Roger Clemens, Andy Pettitte start to disappear. 07, Burke is again on the team, but has spent some time back and forth on the roster. And so just never came through, right? Just never came through. So 2007 season ends up getting traded to Arizona for with Chad Qualls and Juan Gutierrez for Jose Valverde. He used to be our closer for a while. And, just times. Finishes out a handful of season. Yeah, finish it. I mean, and that's when, we get rid of old scrap iron and we bring in Coach Cooper. And some things were just changing. We're, going a different direction type stuff. And boy, did we. But he plays his handful of years with Arizona. Again, never amounted to what you hope that a number one draft pick turns out to be, right? I mean, it just didn't work out for him the way that you anticipated. So spend some time and works for ESPN and the SEC Baseball Network. But
And
sometimes
by the way, is really good at it. He is really
good.
good at
Yeah.
it.
I love
He's really good.
when I heard him
he's really good.
doing College World Series stuff, I was like, man,
yeah,
he's good. This is the same Chris. Man, he's great.
Right. So, it just goes to show that if you're from Tennessee and you get drafted in the first round, it doesn't always work out. That's
except for that one game, that one 18
well,
game.
he may help. He may help you get to a World Series, but anyway,
I like the optimism.
Chris
I like
Burke. Yeah, I'm just grabbing at straws here, guys. But yeah, Chris Burke, throwback player of the week. Thought I'd throw
good deal.
Something that is.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He was he just dude. Look, Major League Baseball's hard. I mean, it's just hard.
Woo.
How many years did he play, Neil?
So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 with Houston, and then 1 with Arizona, and then 2009 with the San Diego Padres. He plays a handful of games.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Okay.
the most games he played was 2006, 123, 111, and then 86 with Arizona, and then 32 with San Diego, and that was it. That was all she wrote.
All right. Well, that's good, man. Thank you for that. That was, oh man, that was kind of the end of us being pretty good to the start of the dark days. Game started for reference point. Jeremy Pena lined out at the 2-hole. Alex Brayman got a single in the 4-hole. Yes, you knew I would be that petty because if Dusty can be petty, so can CK. Kyle Tucker did fly out, so we did not score. Jordan walked. But I just wanted to bring that up. And now the Rangers are up in the bottom of the first with JP France on the hill. So that is a perfect segue, boys, for predictions for the week. So 3 on the road, which we're always better than that this year for some reason, and then off day against the team up north. Big series. I mean, I don't think we need to say it, but massive series. Got to win 2 out of 3, in my opinion. Have to. And the Rangers think the same thing, I'm sure. You got to win the series at this time of year. And then off day Thursday, come back home for the Padres. So, Dorton, I'm going to let you go first.
I'm going to be optimistic. And trust me, my optimism.
Oh, good. A leadoff walk.
My optimism yesterday would have been 2 and 4. That would have been optimistic.
Yeah.
I think we are 3 and 3. I hope we take 2 games against the Rangers, but I think we take 1. And I think we take 2 at home.
Well, it's now 2-0 Rangers because Corey Seager just went yacht first pitch. Again, what are we doing walking people? What are we doing This is my thing. If Corey Seager's on fire, okay? So if he goes tank job and makes it 1-0, okay. But no, instead what you do is you walk someone in front of him and then throw one right down the middle. And so now it being 1-0, it's 2-0. Again, how many times we text this? Walks kill. Okay. All right, so you're 3 and 3?
Yeah, I might go back to 2 and 4, but yes, 3 and 3.
All right, Neil.
I'm in my son's room, and I'm looking for a coin, and I'm going to flip it 6 times.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's fair.
Are we counting today's game in this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Which is our looking to be a gimme.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no reason. I'm being serious. There's no reason we shouldn't put 5 or 6 runs up against Andrew Haney and their bullpen. I mean, there's just not. There's
Right.
no
Well, I
reason.
mean,
There's no reason.
anytime somebody scores before us, I mean, like I always say, like, well, if we didn't plan on scoring, it's not going to matter anyway. You know, um,
It
I'll
seems
say,
like we're
I guess,
always. I didn't mean. Does it
yeah.
not seem like we're always behind,
Yes,
Well,
especially early?
including at the plate. Start taking a
yeah,
look at how many times we get behind on the count.
Oh, I agree there. But I'm talking about
yeah,
behind in the score. I think it feels like
No,
the
I
other
get it.
team
I hear you.
scores this first majority of the time.
No, both. I'm talking about
I mean,
both here.
they ought to just cut to the chase and make a Brave have a 1-2 count. I mean,
Agreed.
or 0-2 for that matter.
Start
I
off
mean,
start
it's
off
just
0-2. Start off 0-2 and let's
yeah.
see
I
what
mean,
goes. I don't
call
even want to watch
and
Garcia
call
hit.
timeout.
I don't even want to watch this.
Call
I
timeout.
don't either. I'm so mad about.
All right,
I'm
Neil.
so mad about the walk. Go ahead, Neil.
Neil, what's your pick?
I mean, I guess 3-3. I mean, a coin is 50%,
Yeah,
right?
50.
So if I'm flipping a coin heads to, I mean, what? Who the hell knows? I mean, we could literally lose all six. We could literally win all six. I got no idea. I
Who
mean, whatever. 3 and
who
3 will be
pitches to?
close to one of them. We got
Oh,
France
3 and.
Valdez and Verlander.
Yeah, Verlander. I
Oh,
know Verlander will be Wednesday.
who are they pitching? Haney today. Who's we Dane Dunning tomorrow, and then who are they pitching Wednesday? They are scheduled to pitch. Scherzer versus Verlander.
I didn't think it was up.
Well,
Is it Scherzer?
I think that's just projected. But yeah, they're going to pitch Scherzer against us.
What a game!
3 and 3, 3 and 3 ain't gonna
I
cut
think
it.
that's crap.
3-3 is
No,
cut it.
I mean,
But I mean, I don't know how I can predict anything other than that. I don't know how.
yeah.
I
Why
want to
would
be.
you?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I think we're going to go 1-2 here, which my prediction last week was 2-1. And I think we go 2-1 against the Padres. I guess. I'm hoping it's reversed. I'm hoping
Yeah,
we're all wrong and it's
yeah.
4-2. Like we get out here 4-2, let's roll. But I've got zero faith in what I'm seeing already. I mean, France is a slot machine. God bless him. Okay.
I love him, but bless him.
Hopefully we're wrong. Anything else before we wrap up?
I'll leave it at this. Hey, Christy just sent this tweet. I'll read this and then we can close it down. Okay. Martin Maldonado called 8 breaking balls against Dominguez last night. Javier didn't throw his best pitch, fastball, one single time against him. On the 8th breaking ball, Dominguez hit the ball about 1,000 feet. The 2-run home run, the go ahead. Absolutely brutal.
Shout out to Christy for seeing that tweet and sending it to you. So I love that.
Appreciate.
I mean, I hate it, but I love it.
Appreciate our star anchor back there calling those pitches, man. Just killing it. Just killing it.
So I will say this, okay? You know, after this series, we've got 9 games to where we have got to wake the hell up. So we've got 3 at home against San Diego, 3 more at home versus Oakland. We have a bye, and then we've got 3 at Kansas City. So there's 9 games to where if we're going to make this, if we're going to make a run at the division, this is it. And 7-2 at a minimum. At a minimum.
But it depends on what hole you create here.
Yeah.
Oh,
again,
yeah.
3 and 3 is not going to make 3 and 3 is not going to cut it.
Well, I can get through like a 1-2 series. If we win 1 out of 3, I can live with something like that so long as we back up San Diego, Oakland, Kansas. But again, I mean, who are we? What are we going to do? How are we going to play? All that kind of stuff. I mean, I have no idea. But the opportunity
I don't know,
is ours.
man. I'm frustrated, and y'all know. I know y'all are too. And again, I think we said this on multiple podcasts, and we'll end this. I mean, it's not. I mean, it is that we're losing, but it's just how we're doing it. Like it's just lethargic and just like, oh, we'll get them tomorrow. Hey, it's September. Let's turn the light switch on. Man, sometimes guess what? The power don't work and electricity's out. The light switch doesn't come
Yeah.
on. And it's
Yep.
it's too late. And we've lost so many games. That one, and I will say this, the players take ownership in and should play better. And then obviously we've talked about the other factor, the getting dustied factor. But
Yep.
look, hopefully we can take this series and then get some momentum up for Neil's point, the Padres, A's, and Royals. Like, share, rate, and review the podcast. We grow every week. Appreciate everyone that checks us out. Tell your mom, tell your mom's mom, tell your friends, vote for us. We'll send some more stuff out on our social medias. It doesn't take long. It takes about 2 minutes to do it. We would appreciate it. It's a cool honor. And so, boys, with all that being said, I hope you have a great rest of Labor Day. Short week, even though it's going to be crazy with kids' sports and all the extracurriculars that our kids do. So, boys, with that, go Stros.
Go Stros.
Go Stros.
Go McCormick.
No doubt.
I just doubled.
Who did?
Yeah.
McCormick.
Chaz.
Chaz just doubled.
Abreu flew up. Yeah.